Arrival in Haran. Arrival in Haran. Chapter 29. Genesis. The book of Genesis from the Holy Roman Bible. New American International. After Jacob resumed his journey, he came to the land of the Kedemites. Looking about, he saw a well in the open country with 3 flocks of sheep huddled near it, for flocks were watered from that well. A large stone covered the mouth of the well. When all the shepherds were assembled there, they would roll the stone away from the mouth of the well and water the sheep. Then they would put the stone back again in its place over the mouth of the well. Jacob said to them, "My brothers, where are you from?" "We are from Haran." Haran, they replied. Then he asked them, "Do you know Laban, son of Nahor?" "Laban, son of Nahor? We do know Laban, son of Nahor," they answered. He inquired further, "Is he well?" "He is," they answered, "and here comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep." Oh, isn't that how it always begins? Rachel coming down the hill with the sheep, and here comes Rachel tumbling. Then he said, "There is still much daylight left. It is hardly the time to bring the animals home, water the sheep, and then continue pasturing them." Then, they replied, "We cannot until all the shepherds are here to roll the stone away from the mouth of the well. Then we could water the flocks." While he was still talking with them, Rachel arrived with her father's sheep, for she was the one who tended them. As soon as Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of his mother's brother Laban, and the sheep of Laban, he went up and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered Laban's sheep. And then Jacob kissed Rachel and wept aloud. Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's relative, Rebekah's son. So she ran to tell her father. When Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he ran to meet him. After embracing and kissing him, he brought him to his house. Jacob then repeated to Laban all these things, and Laban said to him, "You are indeed my bone and my flesh." Marriage to Leah and Rachel. Okay, so the last we had left Jacob, right? You had the goddamn sinister Rebecca. She's like, "Hey, Jacob, take the fucking blessing." He takes the blessing from Isaac. Isaac was going to give the blessing to Esau. Esau and Jacob are brothers, but Esau doesn't get the blessing. Jacob does, but now Esau's all pissed off. So Rebecca's like, "Hey, Jacob, why don't you just go on over there to Laban and Haran and try to find yourself a wife?" And he's like, "Okay." He has a dream of Jacob's ladder, and he's like, "Well, here goes nothing." And then he goes on to, he had that dream at Bethel, which used to be called Luz, L-U-Z, Luz. Abraham used to be called Abram. Abraham, oh, you mean Abram? Nope, I knew him as Abram. I will never call him Abraham. I only know him as Abram. Jacob said to them, "My brothers, where are you from?" "We are from Haran," right? We already said all this. Marriage to Leah and Rachel. After Jacob had stayed with him a full month, Laban said to him, "Should you serve me for nothing just because you are a relative of mine?" "No. Tell me what your wages should be." Now Laban had 2 daughters. The older was called Leah, and the younger Rachel. Leah had dull eyes. Leah was not pretty. Not pretty at all. Not as pretty as Rachel. Now Rachel, she was very shapely and beautiful, it says. She was shapely and beautiful. Very, very, voluptuous. Voluptuous. Let's see. Leah had dull eyes. So where are we talking about the dull eyes thing, huh? In the language of beauty used here, dull probably means lacking in the luster that was in the sign of beautiful eyes. Right, of course. Her eyes are dull, but Rachel's eyes, they're full of wonderment. Let's see. Because Jacob loved Rachel, he must have. Jacob loved Rachel. He answered, "I will serve you 7 years for your younger daughter Rachel." Laban replied, "This is his uncle. This is your cousin, you sick motherfucker." Laban said, "Get the hell out of here." Or no, hold on. No. Laban replied, "This is written by God? This is the Israelites? Okay. It is better to give her to you than to another man. Stay with me," Laban said. So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel. What? Yet they seemed to him like a few days because of his love for her. Then Jacob slaved away for Laban. So Laban really fucked Jacob over. "Okay, fine. Now I'll let you marry Rachel. You get to work for me for 7 years. Then after 7 years, guess what happens? Jacob goes to Laban and says, all right, I've worked for you for 7 years. Now I get to marry Rachel. Give me my wife so that I may consummate my marriage with her, for my term is now completed. Well, maybe that's the reason why. You should just ask for her hand in marriage. Don't ask to consummate the marriage. I really, really want to do some sex to Rachel now. So, Laban, what do you say now? What do you say? What do you say? Laban invited all the local inhabitants and gave a banquet. At nightfall, he took his daughter Leah and brought her to Jacob. What the fuck? And he consummated the marriage with her. What the fuck? So Laban tricks Jacob. They have a big old fucking feast. Laban knew what he was doing. He was pretending, yes, I'll give you Rachel. Sure, I'll give you Rachel. And then how does Jacob not know? Is his eyes closed? Now keep your eyes closed. Wear this blindfold. Don't listen. Don't peek. Don't listen. No, don't have no skepticism about these designs. He consummated the marriage with Leah, not Rachel. After working 7 years, Laban assigned his maidservant Zilpah to his daughter Leah as her maidservant. You're like, what does that have to do with anything? Well, Zilpah, Jacob's going to get some ass out of Zilpah too, right? He's going to get ass out of everybody. He's going to have sex with Leah, Rachel, Zilpah. He's gonna dunk it everywhere he can dunk it. In the morning there is Leah, so Jacob said to Laban, how could you do this to me? Was it not for Rachel I served you? Why'd you deceive me? Laban replied, it's not the custom in our country to give the younger daughter before the firstborn. Finish the bridal week for this one, and then the other will also be given to you in return for another 7 years of service with me. You motherfucker. Because I wanted Rachel, you're going to give me this other one, this one that I didn't want, and then you're going to make me work for another fucking 7 years? Jacob did so. He finished the bridal week for the one, and then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel as a wife. Laban assigned his maidservant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as her maidservant. And of course, Jacob is going to have sex with Bilhah too. He's going to have sex with Rachel and Bilhah and Leah and Zilpah, but not Laban. He didn't say he had sex with Laban. Jacob then consummated his marriage with Rachel also, and he loved her more than Leah. Thus he served Laban another 7 years. Jacob's children. God damn. And then he was a slave to Laban for 14 years. I mean, that's a long time, but after the 14 years, I'd be like, and then what if she does it matter if she even likes him? Like she's property or something. And then after 14 years, I mean, you would think her starlight might lose some of its luster after Jacob's children. When the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, the God made her fruitful. Thanks, the God. While Rachel was barren. Damn, God, that motherfucker. No wonder all these humans are treacherous. God's treacherous. Leah conceived and bore a son, and she named him Reuben. For she said, it means the Lord saw my misery, and surely now my husband will love me. So, because Leah knows that Jacob loves Rachel, she keeps popping kids out for Jacob in hopes that Jacob will eventually love her. Does it work? I don't know. We're coming to the end of chapter 29. Chapter 30 is coming up. But she's going to have a bunch of kids. So, Jacob's children. First, you have Reuben. So that's okay. Congratulations, Jacob. He's got a child. We sent him off to the land of Laban, to this land, to find a wife and bear children. That's what we sent him off to do in Haran. So he found a wife. He found a couple wives. And he has a child. She says, okay. Then she conceived again and bore another son. And then Leah says, it means the Lord heard that I was unloved and therefore has given me this one also. And she named him Simeon. So we got Reuben and we got Simeon. Again, she conceived and bore a son, and she said, now at last my husband will become attached to me, since I have bore him 3 sons. And that's why she named him Levi. Once again, Levi's genes No. The Good Samaritan, yeah, that's in Israel. That's a tribe of Israel. Is that what you're trying to say? Levi genes. Once more she conceived and bore a son, and she said, "This time I will give thanks to the Lord." Therefore she named him Judah. And then she stopped bearing children. Wow. So the moment you give thanks to God, then it's like, okay, well, that's all I was trying to. You keep crying. Okay, got another, oh, cry, oh, cry, oh, cry. And then she gave thanks. All right. Tie up her tubes. Tie the tubes. She said 4 kids. Tie the tubes. That's what God says. But good job, Leah. I mean, Leah for not... Jacob really didn't love Leah, but Leah was able to get Jacob to stick with her and bore 4 kids for him. So it wasn't all hell for Jacob. There was an actual purpose. There was a reason for all this. When Rachel saw that she had not bore children to Jacob, she became envious of her sister. I feel like Leah that's the wife. You should he's still going to go after Rachel? Okay, all right. Different times, I guess. Back in the, 1400 BC? 17 million BC. When Rachel saw that she had not born children to Jacob, she became envious of her sister. She said to Jacob, "Give me children or I shall die." Jacob became angry with Rachel and said, "Can I take the place of God who has denied you the fruit of the womb?" She replied, "Here is my maid servant Bilhah. Have intercourse with her and let her give birth on my knees so that I too may have children through her." All right, so that's chapter 30. We're going to end it off right there. We're kind of going into some weird places here. We're going to some dark places. But we're going to find out what happens with Jacob. Jacob has 4 kids so far. Joseph is the favorite one. Remember, he gives Joseph the bright colored coat. They're going to sell him into slavery to Egypt. Anyways,